Hey, you got a phone call.
Will be stopped. Wait, what? What the? Oh my god.
They're probably one of those like junk calls.
Probably a junk call.
Should we answer live on air? No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? Why don't you answer this phone call? Yeah, okay, there we go.
Well, it's funny, remember, we've taken live calls on air before from Rob Hausler.
I mean, we have, and that was a lot of fun, but that did not look like Rob Hauser. That looked like a
that looked like
junk. Or maybe it is Rob Hauser. Maybe it's him in disguise.
Well, don't you think when something like comes up as like some random town, like it's like Buffalo, Ohio, or something like that? Like, yeah, I don't think I know anybody in Buffalo, Ohio.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Actually, on a couch this time for On a Couch Talking Sports. But as always, I'm Robbie. Kyle's here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I know, folks. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. It's been Robbie, Kyle. It's been like a month since you guys have been on the air. We know, and we're sorry, but we're here now. And by the way, it does not mean that the channel has not had any. I don't know why I just took them horns. It does not mean that the channel has not had any content, all right? You folks better have been watching my Robbie's football recaps that I post every week to this channel, all right? So there's no excuse. If you watch this channel, you need to watch those. Even on weeks we don't have a show, I always will post the Robbie's football recap. So
just like I always post the Stu's. Oh, wait, never mind. Nope, I haven't done that yet. We're still in the working process, you know.
Yeah.
5 years later.
Could be coming soon.
Could be.
We'll see.
We'll
but we are back for a new episode. We have a lot to cover tonight because Kyle and I have certainly been busy doing a lot. We've basically been crisscrossing New England.
Yeah.
Just going all out like these last few weeks. And there are three...
A lot of traveling, yeah.
Yeah, there are three items in particular that we want to talk about. So about 3 weeks ago now, we made a trip up to Vermont, which was a lot of fun, and we'll get into sort of the significance, at least for me, of that trip as we get going here. Then the following week, we went to a BC football game, BC versus California, which was a lot of fun as well. And then 2 Saturdays ago, we went to Providence, Rhode Island, to Waterfire, which we've been to a couple times in the past, and is always a good time. So, it's been a really busy last month for us, both personally and together. You know, just doing all these things. So we kind of want to come together tonight and sort of recap for you what we've been up to. So I guess we'll start at the beginning, which is the very best place to start, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah.
And like I said, about 3 weeks ago, so here's something you may not know about me, is that up until about 3 weeks ago, I had lived in New England my entire life, but yet I had never been to the state of Vermont. I had been to every other New England... I know, Kyle's mind is blown by that fact. I know, it's like, you know, he's about to fall out of the couch because of that. But yeah, I had never, ever in all my, 30 plus years of living, been to the state of Vermont. I had been to all the other New England states multiple times, probably even in the double digits of times throughout my life, and yet had never had the occasion to go to the state of Vermont. So Kyle and I said, you know what? We need to change that. We need to finally make it so that Robbie could say he's officially been to every New England state at least once.
Hell yeah.
When he's a lifelong New Englander. So we got in the car and we drove only a couple hours, right?
Yeah, it was like a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, it was
kind of up Route 2 and on the highway a bit.
2-hour drive to Brattleboro, Vermont, which is a really nice, like, sort of... It's kind of like a small town feel, but there's still like enough to do.
Yeah.
There, it's just it really. Kyle and I know part of the reason we chose Brattleboro is that Kyle had, I know, kind of been through there, like, at one point in the past, like, and had sort of talked highly of it, and so, you know, we both kind of agreed that, like, it seemed like a good place to visit, and it was true. It really was a good time, and Kyle, what I kind of want to start out with, actually, is before we get to Brattleboro itself, the drive up, like, was actually kind of cool, because like you said, we basically just went, like, right out Route 2, and then, you know, we hopped on, like, a few back roads, and then, like, I think it was, like, 81, 84, something, I think it was, like, 81 or something like that.
Yeah.
For, like, maybe, like, a couple exits, sort of basically right as we were getting in to Vermont, but it really was a nice just ride out, like, sort of scenery-wise, yeah.
Oh, I loved it. Like, I had a great time, like, just, you're right, like, I think we went on a good day where it was very sunny, like, we didn't have to worry too much about, like, any crazy weather or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was very warm, actually, when we drove up. It was definitely one of those kind of warmer, sort of, early fall days, you know.
But it wasn't too warm. I think it was like 70s and sunny. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it
was
wasn't
like a comfy one.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, not like a heat wave or anything.
Right.
But no, it was. I agree. Like the drive was nice. We just kind of popped in some music and we just kind of let that playlist go, and we just kind of, you know, just had a really great time. Like, that was one of the parts I was actually really excited about, was because I remember, you know, I haven't been there a few times, like, you know, in the Vermont, even up to New Hampshire, in those areas, the past, like, you know, like a few times the past few years. Like, I really like just the drive itself, just kind of looking at all the foliage, and even though it wasn't like kind of like, we weren't like deep in the fall yet, you know.
Of course, yeah.
So we didn't experience like the full kind of like foliage. We still kind of got some really nice sights, and like we could see kind of like the mountains, and even when we got to Brattleboro itself, like it actually, you could see the surrounding mountains kind of in the background, which is really cool.
I know, you can kind of like look out, like, and see, like, all the scenery, and like, and yeah, like you said, it was a very just sort of picturesque, what you would expect, sort of picturesque, like, Vermont scenic sort of town and trip. So
exactly,
it was really cool, and you know, obviously getting to Brattleboro itself, I think the thing that sort of struck me about it is that, like, just the downtown area of Brattleboro was, like, you know, very happening place. Like, you know, definitely was like,
very artsy.
Like, very. There was like, you know, a good amount of places to, like, visit and stuff like that. And it's all like, you know, and definitely like within walking distance for each other. You know, it's like kind of like, you know, a big long strip. Of, you know, all sort of like the downtown, and we found this really good, like, sort of sandwich spot that we had lunch at, which was really cool.
Yeah, they had like a lot of good kind of like local spots, and you know, we didn't get to try like that was the one restaurant we tried there, and there were some other like really good, like, so you could tell, like, I just like the whole vibe of it, like, whereas like,
I feel like mom and pop kind of like small shop. It wasn't like, you know, these like fancy extravagant restaurants. It was kind of
or
like
like big
like,
chains or anything like that. No, it was very quaint, and it was very like, it's kind of a nice place to explore, like, if you wanted to grab some like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and if you wanted to just, I don't know, just kind of get the vibe of the town, because I'm sure that also it's near a lot of like farms, and like there's a lot of, you know, pretty local products they get there. So it was really cool, and that's what I liked about the sandwich place too. Like, when we went to, was that let me tell you, I had one of the best chicken BLT sandwiches I've had in my whole life. It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I can't remember exactly what I had, but I remember it was like really good as well.
Yeah.
Like,
I think no, I remember, because you had the flagship one. You had the BLT.
That's right.
BLT,
that's right. I did have the BLT. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Or I did have a chicken. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't a chicken BLT. It was a chicken something. It was like just a solid grilled chicken sandwich. I think I had like avocado and stuff, but still, both of our sandwiches incredible.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic, and honestly, my favorite part of the whole town was we found this like walking trail, like a little bit off the center, a little bit off of the center of town, but still like maybe like a 10-minute walk tops away. Like it was not that hard at all to find, like, walking wise. And it was just so cool. It's like what you would sort of imagine like a Vermont, New England, like, walking trail being, like, just like, you know, just very calm, quaint, like just kind of, just lots to sort of see. There was like, sort of a little like river, or not river, but like a little like pond thing, like sort of running along the side of the kind of sat. There was like a bench at one point where we sort of sat and like looked out over the pond and stuff like that. It was just, I honestly gotta say that was sort of my favorite part of the trip, was like just the walking trail, like sort of spending an hour just sort of walking around, just sort of seeing sort of the sort of picturesque, like New England, like woodsy, like views. I just thought it was really cool, and it just the calmness and quaintness of it was just really, really nice and enjoyable.
Yeah, and there were the other cool thing about the area too is that there's actually a lot of kind of branching paths. So. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. There's like a few different ways you can kind of tackle the trail there, and it is a bit hilly. So you just gotta warn you. So just make sure you're ready. So it does give you a really solid workout. Like we had a hell of a workout. It was awesome. Like I was loving every second.
No,
like,
we felt very good at the end of that for sure.
Yeah. and it was cool because like there's another trail actually we even kind of saw in the distance. Like I think that there was even one that kind of like crosses the road there, and the area itself was I agree. Like it was so cool to just kind of walk around, and we even kind of bumped into this like really cool tower kind of thing there. It was like it kind of reminded me of the one in at the Fells. You know what I'm talking about?
No, that was exactly my thought. Exactly, and it had this cool like tower thing as well, which was very cool. I really enjoyed it. And then, sort of after that, because we kind of had lunch first, and then walked the trail, and then we sort of went back into downtown. I know Kyle, like there were a few different shops you kind of stopped and looked through. There was kind of a music. There was like a music shop. There was like like sort of a more like an arts like shop. Like there was a whole bunch of places. I remember you stopped and kind of looked through, which was cool. I mean, definitely, like I said, some cool like mom and pop, sort of small business type shops. That definitely seemed to do well. Around there, definitely seemed to get good business. So I mean, it was nice to sort of explore that downtown area. It's pretty easy to navigate because it's basically one long strip forward and backwards. So
that was cool. It was just really it was just really nice. It was great to explore, and that record store, like I ended up finding actually I found one of the I found Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome on vinyl, and also the Dave Clark 5. I don't know if anyone knows the Dave Clark 5. They're kind of an older band in the era of like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, but they're very good. Like I highly recommend checking them out. Like some people might find them dated, but I really enjoyed their music. They actually had it was like their greatest hits album, so that was pretty cool. So
very, very cool indeed.
Yeah.
So so that was sort of part one of our sort of last month of adventure. Definitely would highly recommend Brattleboro, Vermont, or just Vermont in general, if you guys have not been up there and get a chance to. So then fast forward a week, Kyle and I stayed in the state of Massachusetts this time, pretty local, and went to the Boston College versus University of California football game.
That was good,
Obviously, you guys know me. I'm a big BC football fan. I go to a lot of the games, but Kyle actually, we realized, had not been to a football game specifically at BC in like almost like 15 years or so. Cause I think back when I think we agreed that like the last time you went actually may have been with me back in high school, like all the way back in high school. Wow. So,
and I remember that game too. It was very rainy.
The weather was a lot better for this one.
Yes, nice and sunny.
For sure. Yeah, it was a nice afternoon game. Unfortunately, BC did lose to Cal, which I talked about a couple weeks ago in the Robbie's football recap, which you guys should watch. But anyway, Kyle, just sort of thoughts about the game, the atmosphere, the food. I know you. I know you. From the moment we got there, you have to tell him. From the moment we got there, Kyle had his eyes on one particular food item. I'll let you tell the people what that is. But
so, oh my God! So when I got there, I was trying to kind of figure out, because me not being there for 15 years, I kind of lost track of. I wasn't sure what kind of food setup they had there,
and things have changed over that time too. I feel like in the food department too. So
because I ended up bumping on the way into this like meatball place, and yeah, it's basically just a place that they give you either meatballs in a cup or they give you like a meatball sub. And so what I did was, I thought this was a pretty killer combination. I ended up getting like the cup of meatballs, and they give you actually like a decent amount of marinara sauce, and the marinara and the meatballs were incredible, so good. But let me tell you something. I'll tell you a little secret. So I originally thought that because I noticed just random observation. I had noticed people have been getting like little things of garlic bread in it. But I think when I got up to order mine, I believe the garlic bread was out. So what I did was, it was a little disappointing. I was like, oh, I would have loved a little garlic bread to dip in. But fear not, there's another option. Luckily, they had pretzels nearby, and the pretzels...
And they're very good pretzels, by the way. BC serves very good pretzels at their sporting. But the nice soft kind, too. They're not like... They're very soft, which I really like in a pretzel.
So good. No, I agree. Like they're probably the best like hot pretzels I've had in like a really long time. And let me tell you, dipping those in the marinara sauce, game changer.
Yeah, huge
game changer. Loved it.
And we were at a game too, so it was perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, and then sort of any thoughts on like the game itself, the atmosphere, stuff like that. Obviously, unfortunately, BC came up a little bit short, but still, like just a very exciting game, and just
I love
football. So
I mean, I think this is the most invested I've been in a football game in quite some time. I mean, you know me. I'm a casual watcher. I don't get super invested in a lot of games. I like going for the experience. I like the kind of like just watching the game live, and I like the whole vibe of the crowd and everything. And everyone there was really cool. I thought the stadium was really nice. I had a great setup. They always keep the stadium in great condition. So, I had no complaints there. Loved hearing the pep bands. That was awesome. But just the game itself, I was actually very invested, and I liked how I don't know, I thought it was a really fun game to watch. Like, I always love watching the close games. Like, those are my favorite games. Those are when I think when I probably get invested the most, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love watching our winning, our preferred team win, stuff like that. That's always great. But the ones that I really I love watching a good kind of dramatic, like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, you don't know.
It was definitely dramatic because BC was down late and like drove down like basically almost to like the 10-yard line of Cal. Unfortunately threw an interception, but it was just like high drama. What's gonna happen? Like, are they gonna score? Blah 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 blah. Like it was intense, and I like I said, I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was so much fun to watch, and I know there were people can complain about bad calls from the refs, and you could say like it was hard. Like there were a lot of mistakes made, by both teams and stuff like that. Especially, unfortunately, on the VC side. But when you put all that aside, it was a hell of a game.
Yeah,
it was. And I really thought that those teams were very evenly matched. And I think BC definitely, despite all the stuff that happened, like I think they definitely had a really good chance of beating this team too. So.
It was an exciting game, and definitely was fun to go to, and definitely appreciated you joining me for that one. That was a lot of fun.
No, thank you. Actually, it was funny. It was very kind of last minute invite, because I know you were supposed to go with your
my dad just couldn't go for various reasons, and so I just on a whim texted Kyle, and I was like, hey, you want to go to this game? And sure enough, Kyle was like, yeah, I'll go. Yeah. Because I'd seen you, we literally planned it 48 hours in advance when I realized that when I asked you, I basically asked you Thursday night for a Saturday game because we were having our weekly hangout, and you were like, yeah, I'll go. And sure enough, 48 hours later, there we were.
No, that was great. I love just those. Yeah, because I also really I was in the football mood. I was like, I really want to see a good football game, and it did not disappoint.
It was perfect. So
nailed it.
And then the final sort of item, event of note for the last month for us was just a couple weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago now, Kyle and I headed down to good old Providence, Rhode Island to take in Waterfire. If you don't know what that is, a few times a year they have an event called Waterfire where they actually light along the river there, or the whatever you want to call it, right in downtown Providence there. And there's like a market, there's like music, there's like just a whole bunch of different things going on. It's really a cool take. We've been to it. I think this is the third time we've been to one now, and every time it's just so much fun to like go and like take in and like see just in all its glory. Like I always have a good time at it. And what we did this time, folks, and I gotta put in my recommendation. I think Kyle will agree with this. If you are going from the Boston area to Providence and you want a pretty cost-effective, sort of easy way to get down to Providence, take the commuter rail.
Yeah,
folks. Like, we took the commuter rail. Like, it goes from South Station through like the Back Bay and through a couple other stops in the Boston area, then out to where we got on, which was Route 128 station in Westwood, and then it goes through like Canton. It goes through, I think it goes Canton, Sharon, Mansfield, Attleboro, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and then into Providence is the last stop. Mm-hmm. And folks, I mean, I've taken the trip now down to Providence a couple of times on the commuter rail. I know this was kind of Kyle's sort of first time doing that particular mode of transportation. It's just so nice, folks. You don't have to worry about like driving all the way down. You don't have to worry about like trying to navigate. I know getting off the highway in Providence can be kind of tricky sometimes, and navigating that area of downtown Providence can be tricky. You don't have to worry about finding a place to park in Providence.
It's so easy.
It's so easy. And honestly, folks, this is the kicker, especially with it being a weekend. I mean, even during the week, it's like pretty cost effective. But like, we spent like, each $13 to go back and forth to Providence. Like, because basically at the Westwood station, it is $3 to park on weekends for the entire day. Like, you can park the entire day.
It's such a good deal.
Yeah, you can park the entire day in Providence. You can park the entire day at 128th station in Westwood for $3. And then the ticket, it was like an all-access ticket. Weekend, I think they call it the weekend pass or something like that, where you can literally use it like as many times as you want on the commuter rail for like that particular weekend, and it's $10 total, like $10 total. So like I said, it was $13 total for each of us to go for the afternoon down to Providence and back. Which compared to the gas money that it takes to drive there, the parking money, and just everything else, like, it just makes so much sense. And like I said, I had done it like last year when we went to Waterfire, and I kind of, talked Kyle into it, but kind of like talked it up to Kyle this time, and I think you would agree that it was well worth it.
Oh, it was great. And actually, I will say, to correct you before, I actually have taken the commuter rail to Providence before when I was at Wheaton. So it's been a hot minute, but so it was funny actually, but it had been so long, it kind of almost, no, you're good. It almost kind of, it just like, because I remember, because I used to actually, because the nice thing about Wheaton is actually it was very close to Providence. It was actually, I would say, even arguably closer to Providence than it was Boston. So it was even easier to take
it's gotta be, it's gotta be closer.
Oh yeah, because usually the closest train station from Wheaton would be either like Canton or Mansfield, and those would only take like maybe like 20 minutes or 20 minutes to half an hour, train ride. It really wasn't bad at all. And it was funny because I remember when we were walking out of the station, I was like, oh my God, like I remember, it just all came back to me. I'm like, oh my God, I remember like walking this exact like stairway, and it was just, it was, no, you're right. It was such a great experience. And Waterfire is always great. Like, it's definitely an event that I always kind of call it as like one of the most calming crowd events you could ever go to. Probably the most calming crowd event. Actually.
Yeah, it's like a big crowd, but it's like a very calm crowd. Like, you kind of walk around, it's like everybody's just real chill.
Yeah, because they're blasting this like very calming music throughout.
Yes.
And you're right, like no one's like I feel like it just kind of puts everyone at ease.
The Waterfire itself is very peaceful. It's got a very peaceful feel to it.
Oh, it's a great atmosphere, and also, you have like you're right, like you said. In addition to that, also the you can smell like the wood fire burning, and it's just such a great wow. It kind of puts you almost in that fall mode too. It just kind of. So yeah, if you guys get the chance, like it's definitely worth the trip 100%. To Rhode Island. Like definitely go to Providence.
There's a few of them each year, like sort of throughout the year, like so definitely.
Yeah, it usually starts I think in the summer. Yeah. So it's usually
spring, it's sort of like late spring or summertime.
Maybe I gotta look up the schedule because I know sometimes they change. They kind of change the schedule every year, so it's a little different. But
last year the schedule makers went wild and decided to have it on the same Saturday as Comic-Con Providence. That was what we went to last year. Oh. That was an experience.
That was interesting. Yeah, it was hard to find a restaurant, but otherwise it was great. But it was so hard to find a place to eat.
City was packed and and then the ticket. Kyle drove me back to the train afterwards, and the ticket thing at the garage was broken. So
there was a big backup. I think it took us almost 20 minutes just to get
out. People getting out and walking down to try to figure out what was going on.
It was crazy. I think just with all those people flooding in because of Waterfire and Comic-Con, it's like the ticket system just couldn't handle it, and it just was like, all right, guys, I'm done.
Yeah,
just failed.
It was that was crazy. But this trip was a lot easier. But one cool thing that they did have going on is they had this concert thing going on because it was breast cancer awareness.
Oh yeah, that was
month,
cool.
And they had so that was pretty cool. We were kind of went in. There was a sort of grassy area we kind of were able to go and sit and just observe the people and listen to some of the music and stuff like that. So that was really cool as well.
Yeah, that was neat.
Which, like I said, just Providence in general is always a fun take. 'Cause it's a pretty easy city to walk in. You kind of walk around, and there's good restaurants and other places. And obviously, the Providence Place Mall. We kind of had a food court dinner this time, just for a little change of pace. And walk around the Providence Mall is always a good time.
Yeah,
it's all brought back. As usual, brought back memories. Back when a couple times when I do remember having with Kyle during our Wheaton days, during his Wheaton days, our college days. But it was just a really fun trip as always, and definitely will be hitting it back up again next time. At least the next time Waterfire comes around. So so that was our month, and sort of in a nutshell there, and had a great time during all these outings and stuff like that, and just was very busy, but it was a lot of fun. So definitely glad to get you guys caught up on what we've been up to the last few weeks. And now we are going to transition to the second part of our episode. As usual, the Robbie's football recap for this week, which I've saved to actually be part of the episode tonight, and of course the Sue's review. So I'm going to start with the Robbie's football recap. And folks, for a second week in a row, we had a above 500 week in the Robbie's football recap.
Yay.
So now Wellesley High was on a bye week this past week, so they did not play. So they're still 2-3 and will be back in action tomorrow night. We're recording this on Thursday. Tomorrow night at noon North, looking to get hopefully back to 500. So best of luck to them during that. BC unfortunately lost again this past week to Clemson. They're having a bit of a tough go right now, but they'll be looking to maybe try to snap their losing streak on Saturday when they host UConn. A big sort of regional rivalry game, so should be a good take. The Patriots won again, their third win in a row. Patriots, folks, are now in first place in the AFC East for the first time since the end of the 2019 season. It is amazing, folks. Like, the Patriots are actually, like, hopefully, knock on wood, fingers crossed, sort of starting to really turn the corner here under first-year head coach Mike Vrabel, because they're now 4-2. Like I said, first place in the division. They'll be back in action on Sunday, traveling to the Tennessee Titans, hoping for their 4th victory in a row. And my fantasy team won again. Yay. My fantasy team is now 5-1, folks. 5-1 overall.
That's a good record.
I have not lost since week 1. I've won 5 in a row. I am all alone in first place atop my league right now. We'll see if that holds. With my luck, I'm being cautiously optimistic. Let's just say that. But yeah, so 2-1 week overall, and overall this season, folks, I am now back above 500 for the overall Robbie's football recap of 12-11. The first time since the 1-0 week 1 way back Labor Day weekend that the Robbie's football recap has been above 500 this year. So
nice.
Hopefully we can keep it up into a new week, a full week this coming week with, like I said, all the 4 teams in action this coming week. But yeah, like I said, another good week in Robbie's football recap land. And now, because you folks, I'm sure, have been waiting for like a month for a new edition of this, it is time to turn things over to the Suze himself for another episode of the Suze Reviews. So Kyle, take it away.
All right, so I figured I'd kick off, Halloween month with a actually very Halloween movie that I just saw recently. So I've been on a huge binge of horror movies. I've seen pretty much at least one almost every night, I think, of this month so far. So there's lots to talk about, lot to discuss, lot to get through, but I wanted to focus on one tonight, especially because I had most recently seen this movie last night. It's actually called Trick or Treat, and it's a movie that really encompasses Halloween, not just in like the horror aspects of it, but in kind of the tradition and the holiday side of things. You don't really get a lot of movies that do that. Because a lot of the movies, they really just focus on like the horror elements or like the, maybe like the mythological elements in here and there. But no, this one actually kind of, I liked it because it had horror tropes here and there, but they actually kind of put some interesting spins on certain tropes, and I was very invested. It's a movie that it doesn't really have a main character particularly. It just kind of like focuses on this small town that celebrates Halloween, and you just kind of like, it's a very short movie. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes. So it flies by. You watch it, like it flies by. It only feels like you were there for like an hour. But you basically just kind of like you do follow certain characters. So it's a little bit of like one of those like anthology style movies, like where you kind of like it switches like perspectives and you're following this character doing this kind of thing for a little bit, but then they switch perspectives and they even do a little time jumping, which is kind of cool. So I really like the structure of the movie. It's a very unique structure, and and I think honestly, not a lot of people have heard about this movie. It's kind of, I would even put this in like the cult classic territory. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up too is because they're actually showing it in theaters this month. So they're kind of re-releasing it, because I think it's almost been 20 years since it's been released, which is kind of mind-blowing. But yeah, so there's a lot to really enjoy about it. I will say though, there are some pretty gruesome, very disturbing aspects to it. So if you are squeamish, there are certain things about it you probably won't like. There's certain scenes, especially there's a scene at the beginning, I won't spoil it, that involves like a crazy killer with like a trick or treater. It gets pretty disturbing.
I'm disturbed, and I'm just hearing about this for the first time.
Yeah, it's so like. I will just warn you, like, if you're very squeamish and stuff, like, you probably want to maybe, like, step past this one. But if you don't mind it, if you can kind of, like, you know, if you're okay sitting through gore or whatever, then it is a very fun movie. Like, it's not a movie that takes itself too seriously, so it does have, like, kind of, like, an over-the-top nature to it. So it's not really like a straight up dramatic horror movie. It does have a lot of funny elements to it, but there is also some disturbing stuff too. So you just have to kind of like watch out for that. But otherwise, I think it's a fun movie to watch. It's a really good Halloween movie. And it was, actually made by I think a couple of the producers and writers who actually, they helped make like the early X-Men movies and also Superman Returns, I believe. And at the time he was like a very novice director, but I thought he did a really good job for like, you know, like a first effort, or at least an early effort. I wasn't sure if it was his first or not. I have to kind of look up, but no, I think it's a very enjoyable movie. Definitely watch it if you want to just kind of throw yourself into the Halloween kind of spirit. And it does have one of the greatest, like, I will say this. I'm just going to say this. Light spoilers, you know, to turn this off now if you want to just kind of save the whole movie watching experience for yourself. But minor spoilers just now. There is a great scene where there is a terrible, despicable character in the movie that you just hate so much, and you're like, oh, this person's the worst. Like, but then there's a really great kind of scene later on in the movie where this person actually gets like what's coming to them. And I'm like, okay, it's one of those like nice cathartic scenes in movies that I thought worked really well. And it kind of involves this like really cool twist about another character in the movie, and I just you'll know what I mean if you watch it or if you've already seen it. But like I said, it has a lot of really cool twists on certain horror tropes that I really liked. So, like, oh, are the victims really victims here and there? You know, like, so,
Are they? Are they?
No.
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
So, yeah, like I thought it was very clever. So yeah, definitely check it out. Trick or treat.
Give me something good to eat. No, I'm just
there you go.
Thank you, Kyle, for another rousing edition of the Sue's Reviews, and can't wait to hear the next one, wherever that may be. Anyway, but hey, listen, folks, as always, it's been fun getting together with you, actually on the couch this time, to talk some sports, and like I said, sort of fill you guys in on what's been going on, and hopefully we will be coming back to you a lot sooner than a month from now. We'll sort of see, you know, I'm sure we might, you know, maybe try to do some episodes, you know, in the very near future. We shall see. But anyway, listen, first of all, I completely forgot to mention this at the beginning. Big shout out to our two sponsors, Simon Organizing and Wes Woodson. Thank you as always for the support. Also, big shout out to the Craig Show, not his show, which has been off the air, I think, for like 7 years now, but still.
That long? Jeez.
I maybe longer.
Oh my god.
I think it might be actually close to like 10 years.
Stop. No.
I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Might be right.
So I think it was like around like 15, 16. I think the last episode that I remember was like 2017-ish.
2017. Okay, so maybe about like
8 years. Okay.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah. But still, it's been a while. But yeah, Kyle still rocks the merch. I mean, you know, because Craig and crew, we love you. So thank you again to Wes Woodson and Simon Organizing. Listen, folks, you know how to find us, right? We're here on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. So please, you know, give us a subscribe, ring the bell, drop us a comment. If you want something you want to see on a future episode, or if you have a comment about any of the things we talked about on tonight's show, like, we would love to hear from you as always.
We always appreciate the feedback.
Absolutely. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Like I said, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And as always, that's Kyle. I'm Robbie. And we will see you next time on a Couch Talking Sports. Bye.